Die sprechen Deutsch.
The United Kingdom is a kingdom on fire, which is probably why we were invited all the way over to Germany for the launch party of Kingdom Under Fire 2. A game that combines role-playing RTS and MMO together within a ludicrous high fantasy setting. To get the filthy influences into the theme of the game, we were first treated to some highly authentic medieval reenactment.
Open the doors, we noble knights, and the first 20 people will enter the castle.
Come in and feel free.
Move your feet! What is the switchery?
Now everything was going really well until someone mentioned the war.
Beiseite! Mach blood!
Of July the 15th, 1410, where of course King Wadslaw II defeated the German, Prussian, Teutonic Knights. Dispute resolved and everything calmed down, it was finally time to play the game. Fortunately for Gameforge, Reichenstein Castle comes complete with a medieval LAN party library. The history of gaming in Germany is rich and extensive. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest MMO, RTS or RPG player. However, I do know that the best characters in these games are the ones with the least amount of clothing and the largest breasts. So right at the beginning of the game, that's what we went for. Outside of the 5 main characters, which all have different abilities and skills, changing the gameplay, once you've picked your underdressed lady, you can quite heavily and extensively adjust their appearance. So not only is this a fantasy adventure game, but a pretty decent 3-dimensional waifu simulator. Mind you, I have to say, surgically adjusting the spacing of the eyes is a little bit disturbing. I don't think Michael Jackson even went that far. But it's in here, it's in this game, it's there. I'll admit I spent much longer doing that than I probably should have. Now in terms of the actual game itself, we jumped into the tutorial to learn the basics. We are very much a novice at this. But rather nicely, this game does use WASD movement, and the actual movement and general combat does feel pretty tight, especially compared to other MMOs where you use the mouse button to click where you want to go. Nicely in this, it's WASD and everything's very responsive to your inputs. Surprisingly responsive. There's also a really nice little block mechanic by just pushing the shift key, and you time that to stop getting absolutely pummeled. But it wasn't long after the tutorial that we were reminded we are indeed playing an MMORPG. Games that typically have more grind than your average flour mill, and this is no exception. Now that might not be a problem if that's what you're into, but I did find it really contrasting with the tight mechanics and movement and the awesome introduction of the tutorial and a lot of the awesome preview material that we've seen. It's like, I just want to go in and beat the crap out of things and go to war. I don't want to be doing all this weird farmer stuff. Why bother with that? Let's just go to war, guys, and fight. I also found that the individual quest system was a little bit flaky in that you go up to one character and they're like, oh, here's your quest, go and kill these 3 spiders. And you're like, okay, I'll go kill these 3 spiders. And then you do that and you go back to them and they go, well done, you've done it, you confirm it. And then you're like, oh no, I have to talk to the same guy again to get another quest. It's like, just tell me both quests at the same time, man. Why are we spreading things out? Let's just tell me what to do. Let me do it. I mean, if we're grinding, why do we have to incorporate so much jogging into the grinding? Grinding, as everyone knows, is more fun with less jogging. Now, MMORPG fans that have been abused for years by these type of games are probably totally fine with it, and I think if you're a hardcore MMORPG player, you will be able to get into this and you'll be able to go through it, and you will take the abuse in your stride. But for those of us that are maybe more on the immediacy side of gaming and probably draw the line at the edge of something like Witcher, then this is a little bit of a stretch for us. So it's worth keeping that in mind, but it's also worth keeping in mind that we had a very limited amount of time to play this. And from the presentations, I think the actual exciting parts of this game are more going to be the PvP aspects and the large battle aspects, which you don't really get into until probably 2 or 3 hours of going through the initial introductory part of the title. So of course I didn't get any hands-on experience with that, which is a shame, but that's just how it is. To summarise my first impressions of Kingdom Under Fire 2, I'd say it's probably going to appeal to MMORPG fans that are maybe looking for something a bit more action-orientated and a little bit more fast-paced than what you traditionally get in an MMORPG. I think a large part of the success of the title, like many of these types of games, will depend on how it is monetized. Now, at the event, the publisher said that there won't be microtransactions as such, and that there will be 3 buyable versions of the game, with even the basic version or the cheapest version allowing people to fully experience the game, with the more expensive versions accelerating your play through the game and unlocking various cosmetic items. Of course, that does raise the question of, if you're doing the PvP modes, do you have to grind for 300 hours to get a basic outfit to actually be able to play properly? Or, can you just play a normal amount of the game? And how is that all balanced? I think that's going to be the real big question to see in the final version, and also to see, after 6 months of the game being out, if there's anything changing there, or if they do just stick with those 3 main versions of the game. Personally, if it was me, I would just like one version of the game. I'd just like to be able to play through it and, just enjoy a game. I'm not a fan of microtransactions, and especially I'm not a fan of microtransactions that affect gameplay. Cosmetics, I'm okay with that. I'll let that slide, but nothing else. So, it's all up in the air though. We will see at launch and after launch what happens with the title. Now, before the launch event ended, I did get to demonstrate my prowess as an archer. Then I met a man that I didn't understand,
Halt es in den Rauch!
fed a ginormous eagle, upset an owl, and finally fraudulently minted my own currency.
Not so far,
Yeah.
not so far, bam, just
Yep.
a little way. And then strong, bam.
All said and done, it was an absolutely fantastic event to attend. It's always nice to be in Germany, and it's always nice to meet new people, as well as experience games that are a little bit outside of my own personal comfort zone. I'd like to thank the people that organised everything, got the invite to us, and just made it such a nice day. If Kingdom Under Fire 2 looks like it's possibly your cup of tea, check out the link in the description. And if you like bizarre British bold men, then click that subscribe button, click that like button, and until the next one, goodbye everyone.